And we're live. Hello, everyone who's watching. My name is Dheeraj Shah, and today we are playing the Machines Arena, and it's a 4v4 MOBA NFT game, which I let Ken talk about it. We have Kent with us, who Okay, cool. My kick is not getting streamed, which is fine. We are streaming. We are live on YouTube and on Twitter. I'm not sure. So we have Kent with us, who is the chief product officer of Directive Games, and I'm here to learn some cheats on the game, and hopefully he will help me with that
Let's
because I don't
go.
want to average. Yeah. So Kent, tell us a little bit about, and before that we have more creators with us. We have Ghostin, we have Jaatster, we have Gila, and we have Adeeb as well, who will be joining soon. Shout out to Killernoobz, shout out to Ayuki, just giving you a shout out. Let's go, guys. And Kent, over to you. What is the Machines Arena? What are you guys doing? Let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be just chatting with you guys. I'm always just super excited to be meeting more content creators and connecting like with the community and kind of talking a little bit more about Machines Arena. So Machines Arena at its core started off as kind of a 4 versus 4 kind of team-based brawler. And we had a few things that were like really important to us. We really wanted like competitive gameplay. We wanted like a meta that people got into with different skill levels, but we also wanted to try to solve it where we fit more into people's playtime. And what we mean by that is a lot of games now that we all kind of played, a lot of kind of MOBAs that, are out there, you have 20-minute, 30, 40, 50-minute sessions, and it just gets a little bit tiring. And I think, especially as like gamers are kind of playing more stuff, people have more things going on in their life. We're trying to, how do we squeeze more games into what we have? And that's was a big kind of factor for us kind of thinking about different mechanics and things that we wanted for the Machines Arena. But at the same time, we kind of realized that there's a lot of other different type of gamers that exist out there, and they might like these kind of mechanics or these kind of hero-based characters with abilities and weapons and doing really cool stuff, but they don't always want to be into a very P versus P focused environment. They might want to dabble into it and play it here and there, but not all their time. And so we definitely had this sort of ability with like our approach of these smaller kind of game maps and different sessions for P versus P, that we really wanted this to also have a path for players who wanted to get into even P versus E content. And that could be single player or kind of co-op. But what it did really kind of let us is like have another vertical that gamers can come in, be a part of like an ecosystem or a community of people into it, but they're not necessarily always playing the same thing. But there's going to be that overlap where they connect. And I think that's going to let us have a lot more kind of chances to kind of grow community and have people who have things like in common on this game who might not necessarily want always the same thing. So a lot of stuff in there, but like I said, at its core, when we first kind of thought of the Machines Arena, that we did like a 2 week kind of prototype. And the first thing that happened was everybody in the team was like trash talking each other and talking shit and kind of yelling at each other and laughing, and people playing during lunch hour in their own time. And that really kind of let us see that, hey, we have something here that's fun when you actually have developers that are enjoying it so much by playing it. Even after a 2 week prototype, we knew we had something there that was fun, and that kind of gave us that kind of first conviction to keep it going. But even at the beginning there, Web3 was definitely on our roadmap and what that goal was. But we didn't want to rush it either. We really wanted to make sure that we understood the strategy for this game. And it was really important for us on our approach to Web3. And that really kind of comes down to how we're handling our assets and everything, and why our partnership with Sky Mavis. All these things are super connected into kind of all the decisions that we make, that making us think that we're delivering the best possible game and product for the community. And I think that's kind of why we wanted to get the game out now, even though it's in a closed beta. Just getting people kind of playing it and giving us feedback and just seeing people enjoy it has been a roller coaster ride for myself and the team.
That's dope.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So before we go into apart from this game, I want to ask everyone, what have they been playing, right? Like, what's the game you play, spend a lot of amount on? So I'll start. I play Valorant a lot. I
Yeah.
love that game. I spend too much money on it, but it's sad that I can't own any of those skins, nor I can trade. Right, like I have completed all the battle passes since
Yeah.
battle passes have come out. So I play Valorant a lot. What about you, Kent?
I play a lot. I have a very busy schedule, but I still play a lot of games when I can. I think to me, it's like a personal thing. I think if you sort of want to still build games, you have to play other people's games and enjoy like the artistry of other great developers making their products and why, because you have to have some love and passion to make games. And I think the moment you stop enjoying other people's products, you should also stop just making games. And that's always been a really big personal thing for me. So I try to set always some time to play other people's stuff. And that's why I got in the game industry, just like a lot of people did, is because we love games and how it brings people together or like the memories we have from it. So I think it's really important to me. Probably the games that I play the most right now is a little bit on other platforms. I think right now on mobile, I'm still playing Brawl Stars quite a bit. I think that
Mhm.
kind of influenced me a little
Well,
bit in
yeah.
some ways for something I can kind of just jump in and just play, and I can kind of come in and out and not. I feel like it's always there for me if I need a quick game. Other than that, I'm mostly now probably like a PC player on my other games, and I think between that, it's kind of like Dota 2, or I'm kind of jumping into like Overwatch 2, and I'm probably gonna play a little bit of Diablo 4 when it kind of comes out. But I think definitely competitive games are very interesting to me. I think Dota 2, like shamefully to say, I think I have just like over 6,000 hours on it. So I
Oh,
definitely
Wow.
like competitive games, and that influenced me. You know, definitely when I got into my first competitive gaming and really got into it, that kind of came out of playing Brood War a lot. And I just, that was my life as like a teenager kind of playing Brood War. And obviously, you know, I played with really great players at that time. All the guys from US West on Brood War were great players. That's kind of where Team Liquid started with like Victor and Drone. And all those guys, a bunch of teenagers playing together in Brood War on the same server. So yeah, I've always been into competitive games, and I think a lot of those, all those kind of my personal experience and things I like is all kind of fed into a little bit of influence on the Machines Arena.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing that, guys. Please comment what games are you playing apart from the Machines Arena, which you should be playing, obviously. Ghostin, tell us a little bit which games are you playing.
I'm big fan of a first person shooter, so Call of Duty is definitely one of the big ones that I play. But believe it or not, since TMA came out, it's been a lot of TMA.
And
Like legit,
I can vouch for that. I
it's a
can
great
vouch for
game, bro.
that.
It's a great game.
I can vouch for that because like we were randomly trying out TMA, and like Ghost Team's team is like, let's play, and they defeated us in 10 seconds. Like we couldn't get one kill. I was like, yo, I made a mistake playing this. All right. What
Yeah,
about you,
yeah.
Jaatster?
Yeah, I'm someone you would call like I play a lot of variety games. Like I play like Axie Origins, Valorant a lot. Whenever I get a chance to play on Asian servers, I play TMA, and then I play FIFA a lot too. So yeah, I keep it rotating. But yeah, and TMA is like it's exciting. Like the future of esports in Web3, like it's gonna happen.
Yep,
I believe
it's
it too.
definite. Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Awesome.
tough one, man. You ask a hard question, because you said other than TMA and like ghosting, especially in our Ronin social network, we literally, there's days where we'll play for the entirety, and we're kind of rotating lobbies out and like really pushing the game to its limits. So, it's been fantastic to play recently. But yeah, alongside that, a lot of Axie Origins. I got into Axie strictly because of like the turn-based elements to it, and I like a lot of turn-based strategic games,
Mhm.
card games, and battlers and things like that. So I also still play Pokemon in a VGC circuit, so there's some
Nice.
competitive gameplay in there. But mostly, right now, a lot of my attention when I turn the computer on, it goes towards TMA, and that's no
Awesome.
it's no cap
Yeah.
on it.
So, so I think like we spoke a lot about the game, right? Like let's try it out. Let's show the world how it is, and then I have my YouTube on my phone going on. So if you have any questions while we are playing, hit them up. So this is how the team looks like. Me, Ghost, and
Yeah, I didn't know who to choose, bro. I was like, oh, what decision we make here? You know what, Ken, I'm coming with you, bro. We're not losing today.
yo,
No.
no, I think you should come with. What?
It's
You
okay.
you're playing with the
It's
dev.
okay.
You're
It's
playing
okay.
with
Ghost
the
can
dev.
carry.
Hey, hey, D, it's
Yeah.
okay. Let him
Okay,
stay.
cool.
I'm gonna leave
Yo,
him in
yo,
the
yo.
wall all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's me, Ghost versus Kent, Jaatster, and Gila, which I think I don't know if it's fair, but let's
If
see.
you get a noble bot, it might be even because that bot puts in work. By the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like
Ghost,
Ghost is like two
Ghost, can you
players, so it's probably equal.
yeah, Ghost, can you
Yeah.
ready? Let's
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So tell us, Kent, while we're on this, like you have launched a new mode, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, we just launched it. So definitely want people playing it, giving us some feedback because there's definitely, we tested obviously internally, but once you kind of get out to a lot of people, you start to kind of see a little bit more what needs to be fixed or the balancing. But what the goal of this map though is a complete kind of change from the one that people played before, which was like the push cart. This one's really about the idea of like an attacker and defender. Now, at the heart of it, the idea kind of is that attackers need to be kind of, finding the bomb on the map. They need to be sort of picking it up and then making a choice basically between two different detonation sites. And they have to destroy both as like their winning condition. But you have to have a little bit of strategy of which one you should be taking first, because, obviously then the team kind of knows the defending team can rally against the last point kind of thing. Well, the defending team, you need enough kind of heroes that have a little bit more mobility, because at the beginning, they're not really too sure of the strategy. Then you might want to split your team up. You need to kind of be reactive. So there was that kind of like organization that kind of comes out of it, where teams definitely want to figure things out in terms of what their strategy might be for attacking, defending. And I think that's going to play a lot of interesting things when it kind of comes into the meta of like what heroes are good. And as we start balancing heroes again and the map stuff, I think this map has a lot of potential to be really exciting.
Awesome. So I'm playing it for the first time. So Ghost, you'll have to carry me. All right.
Ghosted, you got a backpack on you, bro.
It's definitely a little bit less straightforward than like the push the cart, because you just you move to that point and it's a very kind of clear thing. This map takes a little bit more to get kind of used to and kind of really think about the meta for characters or some strategy on the map of like where you attack and defend and choke points and stuff like that, because definitely right now if you kind of lose a battle, it can kind of get a little bit snowbally. So there's definitely things that we want to be fixing and balancing. So this can be a tough one for sure.
Oh my god, Ghost, you heard it, man.
Hey,
Someone is on Ghost's day right now.
Yeah, you definitely correct on that one. Day's my favorite character.
All right.
Let's go.
You know,
What's
We started, guys. We started.
I
Guys,
would
if you're
like
on
to
the
make
stream, can you see the stream? Let me know. And Ghost, please tell me what the fuck. What you need to do.
All right, let's go. We gotta go towards the middle right here to grab the bomb.
All right. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm getting wrecked.
Watch it. Oh man, this guy with the turrets, huh?
I got you.
Yeah. Let's take the turrets down and then do our thing with these guys. Come here.
Yeah, get this pyro out here.
Stay right there, my guy. Oh, let's go. There you go. Go ahead.
Got the bomb. They're going A.
Yeah, they're going A. I'm going from the right side. They're like two here.
Yo.
No. Where you going?
Uh-oh. I got turret back up though. Heals.
Yo, backstab. Look at this Gila. Yo.
Oh no, they finally got me. They finally got me out of here.
Yo, get rid of you like that.
Gila. Oh no. Damn it, I died.
I'm so sorry.
All right, so
at
this point right here, you just want to leave the bomb alone and let it respawn back to the middle again. You don't want to go chasing it.
All right.
chasing it would just
I have no
only
idea
keep it
what
there
I'm
longer.
doing, but it's cool.
Oh wow, they took my thing out immediately.
Oh, yeah, of course, bro. And we're gonna take you out immediately too.
Yeah, I got heals.
Oh, I'm sorry. You missed that one, my guy. Wait, where did the bomb go?
Oh, pyro back here. I'm ulting. I'm ulting. Oh, he's dragging me in. Get out of there. Oh man.
Dude, for a second, I forgot where I was.
Yo, damn it. Ghost, you gotta.
Okay, ult's coming in.
guide me.
Ult's coming in. Let's go.
It's been
Oh, a
laggy,
bee.
yeah.
That's ghosting, sneaky boy. I know that.
They planted at B.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
Let's go.
Is the wall up here? There's a wall
They-
up
Yo,
here.
it's me. It's me. It's me,
Yeah,
fam.
we
It's me.
just break the wall.
Out of the way. Uh-oh.
Come here.
Now we're going to take him. No, I'm in the wall.
Stay
Alright, do
still
what?
there.
Oh, I need
Sorry,
help.
you
I
were-
need help.
So let's get this
Ghost is
time.
low,
Yeah.
one
Yo,
HP.
shit, we
Oh,
got
we're
it.
dead.
We
We're
got
dead,
it, bro.
we're
We
dead.
got these two. We got
Let's
these
go.
two.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
see, it has that.
Poison
You
is
know,
so
somebody-
disgusting.
The surprise element, no, that got us.
Dude, that alt was nasty.
Okay, go. I think I'm just gonna follow this guy.
Yeah. Now we grab this one and we do the same thing. Oh, my
Guys,
God.
whom do you think who's gonna win? Ayuki, Red Caterpillar? Let us know.
Look at this guy
Oh
sneaking
my
around.
god. Yo.
Yo, Ghost, no entry.
Oh, they pinched me.
Yeah, bombs
Okay,
up there.
good
We
one.
can keep. Yeah, guard the bomb until it spawns again. Great heals.
Nice.
You lucky. Our bots.
We have to defend for 330. Damn, that's a lot.
It's a long
Yeah,
time. Yeah, you gotta be on task.
I think that's the only. Oh man, let's go. Oh, hey, what are you doing here, huh? In this corner.
Dying.
Let's
Invite
go.
for Ghost, Team Ghost. Alright, we have a lot of Ghost fans, and then there's me, who has
let's
no
go.
idea.
Let's go.
Weird.
Bombs
So
back in the
then-
middle. Bombs back
You
in the
know.
middle.
Are you having fun while playing this game?
I'm just
Me, yeah, all the time. Like
Yeah.
we've been doing play tests internally, like every single day for almost like the last 3 years, and the team still plays every day.
Yo, my mouse wasn't working at all. Damn it.
Get him, boy. Oh, where's the bomb though? How'd he get a bomb?
because I'm the master of disaster. That's why.
Ghosting at him, pulling the whole team on his back, bro. The backpack came out.
Wait,
Hold on to that.
my ult should be good here, right? If I just ult that area.
Yeah.
Kill him, turret. Kill him, turret. Oh, my turret gets stunned. That's crazy.
Yes, of course, my guy. What you thought? Die real quick. Oh, Jess, good one,
We gotta
good
get
one,
this
good one.
defuse.
No.
Stay right
Yo,
there,
I
my
got
guy.
stunned. I'm coming back.
Oh my
Let's
goodness
go.
gracious.
We won.
Ninja plant.
Yeah,
I blew up with the
happen.
bomb.
it can happen.
What? How did that happen? Let's go.
Ghost him the
I think it's
ninja
easy
plant.
as attackers.
Hey, believe it or not, this is my first ever top-down shooter. Like I have never ever played no other game like this before.
Yo, I got MVP
That's
for
the
some
cool thing
reason.
about this
I have
game.
no
There's
idea.
there's a lot of like adaptability. Like you could take
Yeah.
your experience from other shooters into this game, bro, straight away.
I love it, bro. This is an
Kent,
exciting
I
day for me.
have a question for you. So, like,
Yeah.
usually in like esports focused games, right? They have like one specific game mode that they focus on. But here we see like already the two PvP introduced game modes. Like you can have like potential, esport competitions upon them. So, is there like one particular mode that the team is more focused on and they want to push more, or it's like testing grounds right now to see which one has like more potential for the future?
I think we're testing for sure right now, but the idea will be that we keep adding more and more game modes into it. So I guess like the difference is like in a MOBA, you basically have one map, and yeah, you make some tweaks to placement of trees or shops or things like that, but you don't try to change anything because you want players to just sort of master that one thing and that's all they do. But I think for us, what we want is the ability that we give fresh content to players. So what we'll do is we'll have multiple game modes, and we'll kind of give a hey, for this rank season or this mode, these couple maps will be sort of what we say are the meta or the core maps for this kind of season. So players kind of have those one or two maps that they can kind of really practice on for that kind of rank season and kind of feel they have the skill for it and really kind of compete for like a leaderboard. And then we can take those maps out of rotation when it's kind of off season. We can make tweaks or changes to it and then kind of have different maps as like the meta core ones. While all the maps will kind of have them still kind of in a casual mode so people can kind of play it and just have fun. I guess you can kind of think about it from that view. Is like if you ever played like RTSs back in the day, like StarCraft or Brood War, you know, you had different maps that were considered tournament maps kind of things, and people just knew what they were and practiced on that. But I think it's a big thing for us to have a lot of fresh content for players kind of coming in, and I think it's a good mechanism that you think the game feels like it's changing for you without just like being too repetitive like a lot of MOBAs are right now.
Yeah, even the implementation was like that, bro. New game mode, like a few weeks into us even being able to, you know, just get hands on the game. So
yeah,
impressive.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
And I think it goes a lot into like a lot of the choices that we made. Like a big core thing for us was having shorter session times, you know, and like I said, I think for us, like we see a lot of players now who play like a lot of games that require huge time commitment, and it does have a very sticky community that kind of has that. But there's also a lot of players that, you know, are kind of new and they might join at like a current kind of game that's sort of popular. And, you know, you have a 30-40 minute match and then you lose and you kind of feel a little bit demotivated sometimes to keep kind of playing. And a lot of those games have issues with that kind of long-term retention because, you know, it's a huge time commitment. And I think we want to find in something that players can always find time to play every day. So with that also comes into like level design plays a big part of that. So we need to design our levels in a way where we can kind of come up with new interesting game modes that we think are fun, or we want players to experience a different kind of gameplay with the characters that we have, but we still need you to be able to get into it within, you know, 20-30 seconds almost. Like you spawn, you can quickly get back into a match and start kind of fighting. And we want people to learn by playing. And that's kind of why we don't really have like a tutorial that kind of guides you, because we think the games are so short that just like what we just played now, it was some of your guys' first time and you felt natural. And obviously like skill players who play this a lot, there's going to be that kind of difference. But we've designed it that you can kind of just come in and just play it and like learn from gameplay instead of like, hey, here's this long tutorial, you have to learn these million things. And a lot of all these things all kind of everything from level design, character abilities, UI, everything all ties back into these kind of core important things for us.
Facts.
Awesome. Coast, Gila, Adeeb, do you guys have any question before we go into round two?
Really like the way you described, you know, the try and learn kind of thing, right? Because I've never read guides as a gamer. Like whatever tutorials are, I just skip through that right to the gameplay and just try.
That's how you know it's built by gamers, man.
Yeah.
Because we all do it. We all do it.
That's a fact. I want to. My question for you is, do you plan on having like ranked maps and then a different set of like maps for like quick play maps?
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll have like when we come up with the actual like rank season, it'll be like, hey, this single map or these two maps will be the official maps for the competitive season. So players who want to play ranked mode will always be on those, you know, whatever maps on the rotation. It'll be very controlled because we'll kind of probably do like the main balancing against competitive mode, because balancing is always tricky, and you can never perfectly balance a game like this, especially when you have all these different type of heroes, and we are going to be adding more heroes into the game, and we want different game modes. So it's like, what are you balancing against? So we'll probably kind of look at, hey, what maps do we want for like this competitive season? And then we'll kind of balance the characters against what we think that meta is for that competitive season. And that way we sort of can kind of make sure people who are kind of going in to compete, we kind of have an idea of what to expect out of it. And then as we sort of plan for the season after that and which maps, we'll be seeing what was working and what wasn't, and kind of adjust the feedback on that again.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like creating the, like, you control the environment to then balance within, which is like a layer that I think is important. It's like when we talk about balancing, I mean, Jaatster's a perfect person to be talking about balancing and how difficult it can be. But like having that extra element, I think will definitely help the game and in the long run, and just the understanding, players kind of understanding that, oh, these are going to be how this is how the season will look, and like they can put their input based upon those factors. So yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and I was just watching like an Overwatch 2 stream just recently, and I won't take credit for this comment, but one of the content creators had a really great kind of comment, and I used to be a professional player in it, said like balancing isn't really about balancing, it's about balancing it to be fun. And so what that kind of means, and I think he even said that comment came from somebody that was from Blizzard. So it's like, through a few different people have said this, but I guess the idea from that is you don't always balance things to make everybody equal, that you do want like a certain outcome out of balancing because you want a certain type of experience when people play. And I guess what they mean by that is like, you can make every character equal, but if you made everything equal and everybody then always pick the same characters, some people don't like playing against something all the time. So you need these kind of odd characters that are very difficult, but can be super powerful. Maybe Nightcore can be like that, where you don't see her all the time, but people enjoy also when days in the match. So you also want to have like certain characters people enjoy or on your team, and certain characters you enjoy also fighting. So you also want to balance it to kind of make sure that these characters feel represented enough, because it gives a very good impression of what the gameplay and the experience is. So it's like I said, it's just always this kind of thing that you want to play intricate, and it's going to get more difficult on our side because obviously we want to keep introducing more and more characters into the game, because we have this very awesome lore in this world that we've been building, and we want to keep introducing more and more characters into it. And one big thing is it is like in the machines kind of universe in the world, it's not just machines and cyborgs with weapons. There's like techno magic. So we haven't really got any characters in right now that are really kind of showcasing like, what does techno magic look like? What are these abilities? What are these weapons kind of mean? So these are kind of characters we're looking at right now of like, okay, how do we start bringing all this other aspect of the world like into it? And the world is filled with like different factions and all these sort of things going on. So now we're looking at the new characters we bring in, not just of the role they kind of fit into the game, but also how they are expanding into the lore that we're trying to build.
That's dope. That makes me start wondering how many characters we talking about, but I know that's not a question, but we're gonna get deep into.
We have a new character that will definitely maybe at least be announced in the coming month or two, and definitely going to be out soon. At least in closed beta, there'll be at least one more new character that we add into it. But we're also just going through design sessions right now, planning out the next 3. And it's a lot of work, because we don't want to just like shove a character out. We really want to like think about like, where do they fit? What's their identity? How do these abilities work? And it has to pass the internal fun test first. And, a lot of our characters we have here, they've gone through many iterations. I know like a lot of people think Pyro's strong, but she used to be a lot stronger before. And so
that's scary.
She used to have a very strong passive that the lower HP she had, the faster she moved. So she's really but but the more you damaged her, the faster she moves.
You were never killing a
So-
pyro. She would be
Yeah.
sprinting in there, wipe the team, sprint out.
Yeah, so she was like this very slow moving snail at almost, but the moment you started like hitting her, she just became like a rocket moving around the map, and it was terrifying. So
Wow.
as fun as that
Crazy.
was, we were like, we can't do this.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's try. Let's go one more round. I just want to say hi to everyone who has recently joined. Yo Sasi, yo Ayuki. Thank you for all the comments. We are watching. We will be replying soon about the character questions. We are doing a live stream of TMA, the Machines Arena, which is a fun game, 4v4 MOBA built on Ronin ecosystem. We are just trying out a new game mode called Detonation, which I still have no clue what's happening, and like ghosting is like carrying me. And yeah, let's see another of the game mode, and while we're playing, we can talk. But like we were just busy playing. So before we go into Adeeb, Ghosting, and I are in one team, any strategy, guys? Do we
Oh
discuss
god, look at this. The pre-plan is already going.
Pre-planning.
Well, you see, we're on the defense side, so
Okay.
the only thing we have to worry about is just defending
Yeah.
the areas, you know.
And
That's it.
not let them plant.
Yep, pretty much.
Keep your eyes on
Like,
that bomb.
in terms
Kill
of
'em.
balancing, like after playing like a couple of games of detonations, so like I've been following multiple tournaments that have been happening for the pushback game mode, right?
Shout out Ronin
And
Gear
people
Games.
have been developing strategies and everything, right? Putting so much time in, and now in this detonation game mode, those strategies don't matter. So for this particular game mode, like you have to think from, like you have to just erase whatever you learned in that mode and now think from the ground up. So just from a balancing perspective, like balancing heroes, we're balancing for like pushback, and but it makes something like really weak or really strong in detonation. So yeah, I think that's the never-ending cycle that's going to keep happening and just becoming
L-
more and more complex as you introduce characters.
Let me ask you, Jaatster, does having played like detonation kind of game modes like Valorant and stuff help you with this in any way? Just curious.
I think all games, help, and I
Yep.
think like that goes back. Like I
Yeah.
think you need to be playing other people's games and enjoy the artistry and the craft that other developers do. And games are a very iterative space, and even when you look back, even at like even Elder Rings, it has a heritage through other games that kind of came through it that people have played, even from old God of War games and everything beyond that. Everything kind of has an iterative things where games keep learning and improving off every generation, and features and mechanics and things that we enjoy. So it's definitely important to just kind of play the games and see what community likes or enjoys in other products. And it's not that you don't want to fully reinvent the wheel every time. You just want to maybe find the improvements and make it more interesting. And I think at the beginning of this stream, somebody kind of mentioned, oh, like this kind of game made sense to me because I really understood the kind of controls because I played similar games. And that's like a pro, right? That's a very good thing. You don't want to say, hey, we have a new game, but let's completely change the camera angle that no one's ever seen it and all the controls, because you'll just get an experience that people like, I don't get what you're doing, right? And that became a big part of why we chose this sort of top-down twin joystick kind of approach. Is mobile will be really important to us, and cross-platform is extremely important to us. That we understand that, well, maybe when you play ranked mode, you want to be all on the same platform because people just want to feel your teammates and everybody's on an equal kind of thing. But other game modes and casual PvP, you want everybody to play with each other. You just want a quick match. You just want to enjoy it in those modes. And cross-platform is important. And we wanted an experience that whatever you were playing on, it felt as close as we can to making it feel like it just worked. But additionally, like I said, a lot of people here have played League of Legends or Dota 2 or Kings of Valor or Bang Bang or something. And like these kind of camera angles just feel natural now to a lot of gamers. So these things are also kind of important to us while we make those choices, right?
Yeah. A lot of stuff considered, man. Yeah, it's dope.
All
I
right,
think
guys,
the
let's
mobile is
go.
difficult though, because the mobile,
Yeah.
the skill gap it's one of those things that I think it's a
Yeah.
whole nother thing you guys have to tackle, right?
Let's go
Definitely.
for
There's
round
ways
2.
around it. There's ways around that.
Let's go for round 2,
Yeah, sure.
and
Yeah, sure.
you guys can keep talking, like
Yeah,
you,
definitely.
Jaatster and Gila and Kent, and we'll
Yeah,
try
I don't know
to.
if you-
Oh, just enable bots, I guess. 3v3 or 3v3
Yeah. Are we ready? Should we
Yeah.
go for round 2?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
I
Yeah,
don't know
like-
if you guys are playing on a mouse or keyboard, but the game's also very been balanced for a controller, and I think
Actually,
almost half
No
Half
one
the-
controller player, baby.
Show your
Yeah, I
controller.
Yeah, number one controller player in the
No
world.
one controller
right?
player, baby. I'll play on controller. Xbox
yeah, I
Elite
think
Series 2.
like half the dev team plays on just a controller.
We are starting, all right, guys. Go. So
Yeah.
open up your TMA. Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
when mobile? When is mobile happening, Ken? This is the question. Big question.
This year,
This
and
year.
I think like we started with PC because, like I said, we're in a closed beta, and it's just so much easier to kind of give people like a key and get them to download it.
Yep.
Then right now, before we have everything on the App Store and everything else, that trying to find a way to distribute APKs and then tell people to either manually come update it. It's just a lot of work when you just want to get the game in the players' hands, at least try the product first. But mobile for sure this year is on our kind of roadmap.
Awesome.
And I gotta say, the fact that we can shoot things and destroy it in here is so beautiful
It's
from ADHD.
right. I was just about to say that too. I love it.
Like, when I lost my mind when I figured it out when we were able to play Detonation, and it's a small thing, but for me that was like, yo, this is cool.
Oh wait, we're going the wrong way, guys. The center's over here.
Oops. Yeah. That
I got that
actually,
mom Jaatster.
that actually popped the question in my mind. Do you guys plan to add like different sort of like how I can find health, right? Or
Hello.
different type of power.
What is this running?
I couldn't hear you there. I was too busy with I was on fire.
Love it. Guys, keep talking.
Yeah, it's hard to be talking while trying to kill Jaatster here.
Adeeb, you don't talk, bro. Adeeb, you play. No issues.
Got me.
Okay, so I'm dead.
Bro, I'm long way home.
Yeah,
I
just
got bomb,
reduce
let's
the volume. Like coming from Valorant, right? Or like I've played a
Oh,
lot
hello,
of Valorant.
Pyro.
It's like it
Hey, what's
also
up?
Heels
kind
in
of
three.
detonation
I got
based,
net
What's happening?
but I can like carry over the basic game sense of like a detonation based game.
Yeah. Yo, guys,
All
they're
that shooting and
guys,
everything is different, but still just like
I got it.
planting the board after planting, just playing for the time and all.
Ooh.
Like those skills I can
Nice.
carry over, and this is something that like I absolutely love.
Go.
Bro, no way, bro.
Yo, they be.
Oh man, they got
So
it.
close.
They're at B.
You got heals here.
I should have.
There you go. Oh, I need a heal.
What's the
Still instead, nice.
Yo, did I kill someone?
That bomb
Yeah.
blown up. Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go mid. Oh fuck.
Did I get someone? Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Oh, I got two people.
But we got the bomb, so yeah.
Oh,
So what happened? Fuse spawn. Okay. Did they get a point? No, right?
No,
Yeah,
they,
we
yeah,
did.
yeah, they did. Yeah,
he did, yeah.
yeah, because their bomb blew
Like,
up.
we gotta deal with ghosting right now, bro. I'm telling you, he's back as day.
So,
Big bad boss is here.
We got the bomb. Come.
Yo.
nice.
Yeah, they're planting. There we go. I
Planting?
wanna,
They're
yeah,
planting,
they
eh?
planted. Yeah, they planted already.
Okay. What do we do?
Yeah, the turrets are down. Well, what? They're coming from the back. Pyro's coming from behind us.
Back. I got you.
Bro, that guy's 1 HP. Let me check.
Guys,
Come
come,
on.
guys. Let's
Second.
I'm behind
get
you.
there. Yo, come.
Behind you.
I
Yo.
hope I got my heal off there.
I got him.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, never mind, not yet.
We gotta kill him and take over.
Bro,
Take
yo,
it.
yo,
Let's
Oh,
go.
Oh, no.
Ooh, sheesh, that was a
go.
fast one. Gee.
Oh, my
Hey.
God.
Defending is hard, right? Attacking, I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah,
First
defending is
impressions,
definitely
attacking is
so
easy.
much harder.
It
in my
is. It
opinion.
is. And I said, like, I think this is part of why we want to at least get it out, get feedback. There's things that we're going to be changing and balancing, but yeah, defending can be more difficult. But we've had some pretty crazy matches, like internal, of like defending team just dominating at the same time. It's
Yeah.
really one that you need kind of a lot of healing and mobility for.
Yeah, we've had it's the same thing.
Have you guys thought of map elements that you could add, like portals or like even power ups, like just like how we get health, right? But different sort of power ups.
We have, and it might be something we look at again, but probably not until we probably adjust like the maps and like normal kind of feedback
Right.
first. And the reasoning for that is like sometimes when you add too many things to try to solve a problem, then you don't really know what the problem is anymore. So we start like adding in all these little power-ups, and then there's other issues going on with the game design or the map or something like that. You don't even know where the problems are at. So you try to keep as much stuff out of it as you can to then kind of
Right.
see what's working and what's not. Then you can build on top. And that's kind of why, like right now in this build, that we're not really kind of giving out new skins or assets yet, and letting people kind of get more into the progression. In the last patch, we started adding in the account XP. So now we're slowly starting to add these things in, see how that feedback is, see what's working, was there problems with that.
Yeah.
And then we can sort of go, okay, cool, that's kind of working how we thought it should be working at least. Now let's add the next thing in, and then people can
Right.
kind of absorb that. But we are kind of slowly gearing up to where we're going to want people kind of now like earning different kind of cool skins and other things like that for characters. And a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of this is going to be tied into some like lore and stuff like that we want to put out also.
That's fire. That is
When
fire.
Ghost
You know what I
is-
love as well? The like track record. Like even now at this
Yeah.
point, if I go and check player profile, like there's so much detailed information on my track record that I
Yeah.
didn't even know until I checked it, which I think is a really
Yeah.
cool element.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
we'll see for closed beta players right now? Like you're saying, you're going to implement some kind of challenge formats to unlock these skins, but will there be anything for those that participated in the early stages?
We want to do something for sure. So there will be, I don't know what yet, just say that there will be something. What we have been talking about that like internal, like how do we reward like the community who's coming in and playing and all the awesome content creators, like what do we do? So we have a few things that we're trying to balance, and a few things that I think are kind of important to us in terms of like how we're positioning this game. And I think the first thing we kind of said to community, and we're kind of sticking to it, is like we're not doing any NFT sales outside the game. There's going to be kind of nothing like that. It's all the stuff that we want, or people can actually play the game and get it somehow. And some of those might be through like a fiat transaction at some point, but a lot of the stuff will come through gameplay and earning and just playing the game. But we want to make everything happen in the game. So there might be something where we have like an unlock code for like a certain skin for like the beta players coming in and stuff like that. We're still trying to figure out what it is that we want to do for them, but we just want to make sure it also feels kind of cool and meaningful and a good thank you at the same time.
Yeah. No, that's really cool, man. I think a lot of the Web3 environment right now, and like if you take all Web3 games, like again, you don't have like an amazing pool, but like a lot of players probably don't identify with like the work that they put in the game is kind of represented.
It's super. It's a lot of work. Yeah. I think a lot of people are really going to get into it when we start adding like familiars into the game. Now, like this isn't in the build at all. We've talked about it a little bit, but we have familiars that we're kind of working on right now. And I guess you can think of these as like a type of pet. And these can visually look a whole bunch of different ways, but you can think about them that, they are starting at like an equivalent of like an egg. And then you're sort of like leveling it up, and it's visually kind of changing as you hit like a few levels with it. Now, there's a lot of games that have these kind of like pet things. So that's like, oh, hey, we've all seen a million of those. And it is cool to get that and all, and they're going to look awesome. But I think the cool thing that people are going to get into with these familiars is your familiars are actually the stuff that gives you your daily and your weekly quests.
Yep.
So now imagine, most games you come in, you're like, hey, here's some achievements for things you can just do for the week kind of thing. And you have that, it gives you some kind of things to like aim for, grind for. But then if you're kind of a core player that play a lot, you kind of burn through that stuff and sometimes a day. Now the cool thing with the familiars is some of these familiars will have quests that are maybe about a certain hero or a game mode or a combination of things. So imagine like a pet that's kind of associated with like pyro, like burning people for a certain amount of time or doing all these other kind of activities that pyro needs to do. And then if you sort of like finished your weekly quest with that pet, you could like unequip it and equip a new pet and get a whole bunch of other quests that might be around push the cart or death run or a different game mode. So pets can be this thing that let the players kind of focus on the heroes they like to play or the game modes they're most interested in or other type of events and stuff like that, more than just kind of cosmetically looking cool. But it kind of gives power back to players to sort of like, choose the kind of quests that matter to them, but also if they're really a core player that plays a lot, they always have the ability to have things to kind of like grind for and earn, and they're in a lot more kind of control of their time.
Yeah, no word. I remember we spoke about that on the in the Twitter space, and when I first heard it, I was like it really made me start thinking of all the the possibilities that come from
it's gonna be
from that
really cool.
implementation.
Yeah,
exciting. But yo, I want to smoke Ghostin again. Let's go.
Yeah, awesome. So I think there's a little bit shift up in the teams. And you know what? Let's play Assault. That's a game mode I think everyone has played quite a few times. And yeah, let's see how it goes.
Pushback one. Okay.
Yeah, the pushback. Like, so we were playing the one detonation. Now we're playing another one. All right. So, guys, if you're still watching, comment below. And yeah, whom do you think will win round 3? Who knows?
Ooh.
No one knows.
Push the cart is a little bit more difficult. Teams got to come together on this one. Push the cart for me still is like a personal favorite, but detonation has just been such a good input, like change already. So like more game modes is going to be healthy, but I'm telling you, the push the cart core is like something that is so addictive.
It's so competitive, man. It is so competitive too.
It's the close finishes. It's the close finishes that happen quite often as well. I like how that's like statistically speaking. I mean, all of the games I've played in TMA and like watching games come to a close. I was casting a tournament on from Saturday, and like a large portion of these games literally go down to the wire, and it's like one ultimate that decides the game, and like it really is hypes up like that.
Let's go, guys.
And that's like a good example. Like, we want to try to maintain this like same session time I've been talking about quite often. And then we had this kind of scenario when we were kind of doing push the cart, like, well, what if it was a stalemate? Is this going to be a 20 minutes of people pushing it? That could be kind of fun, but it really didn't fit as much into like our design approach or what we sort of wanted. So that's kind of where we had that little bit of that battle royale kind of mechanic where, it starts shrinking on the line that you're kind of forced to get a winner. So these are kind of choices that we make to sort of like want fresh gameplay and something interesting, but, using mechanics or things that we're all kind of familiar with in other games to kind of still give you a new kind of experience.
Cool. I'd actually be so interested though to see like if there was not like the time limit, maybe like in like a special, like a tournament variant, or maybe it could be esports specific, where it's like, we extend that time or whatever that could come into play as it grows.
There might be like some game mode design specifically for a little bit longer experience, and those are definitely things that we talk about though internally.
Is it draw possible currently, like in the current version of push the cart? Is it possible to get a draw?
No.
The draw?
No.
No. The gates literally move past each other, so like it like
yeah. I got to see if I got that VOD of that one game we played. There was like one game we played where the cart was like damn near like it was like it was like this much already past our gate, and we got to the gate and their gate was closing in, and we pushed it right through their gate and won. and came
Nice.
back, and it was like way past overtime, way past everything. It was like, and we still made it happen. And I was like, I don't even know how we did it, but we did it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just-
Let's go. Let's get into the game, guys. Let's do this.
One thing you guys notice, if this is the first time you're watching the game, or maybe you haven't played a game yet, like the more teammates that you have on the cart, like the faster it moves. So
Yeah.
in that scenario, it's
Oh.
like whoever
Yeah.
keeps the most teammates alive will kind of win, just in that situation. So,
What? I didn't know that. I thought like just one would just move.
no,
Wow.
no, it
Mm-mm,
moves at
nah.
different rates. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, today I learned.
Let's
All right,
do
guys.
this. I'm gonna have to pull the Tesla out. I can't lie. Tesla's coming out. Get that electric vehicle out the garage. We're going in.
Oh wait, you're
Guys,
doing
comment
Tesla?
who will win, alpha or beta. I'm gonna just like use my other account to comment.
Let's go beat Alpha.
I'll just be the Zulu then, I guess. Shoot people up.
Just be careful with Zulu. It's bugged out.
Did Zulu get a nerf?
No, it don't have a nerf, but there's a bug in it. Whenever you use your ult, it like it doesn't allow you to shoot anymore. So you have to get killed in order for you to
Bro,
respawn
use
again, to
Zulu.
go back in again.
Use Zulu then. You.
Well, I
Yeah.
usually do suicide
That's
doors,
the Zulu
so I'll just kill
Guys, is it
myself.
narcissistic to watch yourself?
Yeah, we
on
actually
YouTube?
had a match the other day where. Sorry to the guys if you're watching, but we had a match where the guy had bugged out, and we just purposely didn't shoot him just to mess with him.
Yeah, they kept him
The
alive.
guy
And he was like
sitting there
running
doing
after.
360s in the map. Like, come on, shoot
Love
me,
it.
shoot me. I was like, all right.
so mean, guys. Yeah.
Love it, love it.
Yeah. But no, people get intricate with this, man. You've already got players who are like well studied, know everything about the games. That's possible at the moment, and you got some real competitive players already forming.
That's what actually will give them it going forward well, right? Like they would know the mechanics of the game at a very fundamental level. Is that fair to say?
Oh, that boy Ghostin's here.
You already know. Oof. Poor
Bro,
Zulu.
hello guys.
Oh,
The card,
Yeah,
man.
please.
Poor Zulu. Poor
I'm the
Zulu.
only one who went towards the card.
Sit that tight, Mike.
My God.
Yeah, we might have to.
No,
rotate.
no, what the hell? I didn't see you. Okay, man.
Good
I-
shit.
guys,
Was that you, Ken?
Oh
That
my
was you, bro.
god, Adeeb, screw you, man.
Come here.
I got you, bro.
Sit that down.
Fuck
Sit that down.
yes.
Thank you.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, no.
Oh man, I just messed up that hill bad.
Bad game.
Sit that tight right there.
Sniping.
Heals. Thank you. Gila, stay here.
That's a fake, but there's another one here somewhere. Get rid of him. Let's go.
I don't know why they went 9 core. They should have went Aussie.
Oh,
Ozzy.
good stun. Let's go. I got heals. I shouldn't have voted, but whatever.
Sit that tight. Sit that tight. Come here. Come here, baby.
Can't throw the
Oh,
heal
you
because of
die.
the wall.
You die. You die. Oh no.
I couldn't throw the heal.
No,
I shouldn't.
no.
Sorry.
No.
That's he ran out of the hill. Appreciate it.
Stay that still, guy.
Bro, I'm just gonna.
We got regroup. We can't go in there once. He's gonna put a wall up.
Save my heart.
Whoa!
Yo, guys.
Oh, Ken, why? Yo.
Behind us.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
I will say this though, Loki, like Nightcore is my most hated character, Loki, because she's just so annoying. when she's
be on the
played
bomb,
really
be on the
well,
bomb.
it's so
Be
annoying.
on the bomb if possible.
So what is this guy doing here? What?
No.
Sit that down.
You're in my spawn. What the fuck?
Love it.
Goes to do the most right now. Goes to do the most.
Average ghost.
Oh, you got
It's
lucky. I got
sneaky.
killed, bro. I was trying to block y'all in the
Yo, yo,
spawn.
yo, yo, no. No.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Leave me alone.
You guys, they're moving the car. They're moving the car.
Sorry about that.
Oh man. You came for
Running.
blood.
Guys, let's
Oh
push
my
the
god, I just got rid of one. Jesus.
Yeah, I think Ghost is quite, like, you know.
Oh, somebody walked right into those rockets.
Yeah, that was me.
Come here.
Can you eat my
Stay-
rockets, please?
Stay in that wall.
Oh, you blocked me from my heel. That was actually such a good wall.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Alright, no, we got pivot.
What a clutch heal, Gila. Love you.
We got pivot. We got
Let
pivot.
this night go. Oh,
Alright, let's
Thank
push this
you.
cart.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Yeah, they're pushing the cart. Let's go, guys.
what?
Nice. Come, cart, come.
Okay. Ayuki says, go stop abusing. Night is giving me PTSD, obviously. Yeah.
You know. I'm just trying to push him back. That's all.
Yo.
Oh, you ate rockets like crazy,
That's
my
little-
guy.
Yo. Guys. Yeah. Oh my god. No.
Yeah, get
No,
rid of
you
that
guys
boy.
are lucky.
Ooh.
Oh, Submerge just sniped you, and that's a bot.
No.
Wait, how did I?
no.
Oh my god.
The bot
Hey,
just did
I'm
you
telling
like
you,
that.
Kent might be the difference maker here with that night call. He's sneaking around the map.
Stop shooting me.
Yeah, I got it.
Boys.
Enter. Shit.
Let's go. Let's beat these. No, don't kill my bot, man. Don't kill my bot. Don't kill my bot.
Bro. I'm
Wait,
bro.
how did I die? I just killed you. Can your bot? That bot killed me. What?
And my
I
clone
killed
killed
you.
you.
You killed the bot. I
Yeah.
killed you.
Let's go. For the my eye on you.
Oh. Oh, Gila, I made you switch.
Yeah, I had to.
For the
I had to.
Oh man.
Oh no.
That is cool.
Guys, are you enjoying the game, guys? Comment.
Yes, definitely. I'm enjoying. Oh, I'm trapped. Okay, that's a good one, I guess.
And snipe
Come here.
like assassinated me again.
Hold that real quick.
Toxic.
Gates are closing in, lads.
what?
Okay, my ultimate's coming in.
Me too. Let's go.
Yeah, get your ultimate, bro. Get your
Get your
ultimate.
ultimate. That's right. Get that ultimate, my guy. You're not gonna make it.
Yeah, we ain't making this. We ain't getting close.
I think.
Oh,
We got to split up.
eat that stun.
That's a GG.
That's a ba
No, we win.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, everyone is so. And I was like, everyone is so quiet and focused.
Damn.
Yes, guys, Team Beta has done it again. Let's go. Oh my god. Am I the most valuable player? Yes, I am.
Yes,
Why?
you
Because
are.
I'm moving the card.
Let's
And I'm
go.
Byro. So it's
That's a surprise.
That's good.
I
game.
think I think most eliminations are the most important.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah, you definitely had them sneaking up on the team the whole game. He's coming out of nowhere.
Just chasing Tesla down the whole time.
Yeah. I had to switch, bro. I was like, no, this is it. I wasted a whole ult and still died.
Yo, so guys, what do you think about I had the question, right? Like, let's talk a little bit about, like, the other blockchain infrastructure and
Yeah.
whatnot, right? Like, so how does it work? What are you thinking of doing NFTs, right? Like, so you've built a very nice game, right? Like, does it really need NFTs and blockchain tech, right? Like, what's your thought process about that?
So I think what's important to us about the whole idea, like, does it need NFTs, is getting back to, when we kind of really started looking at Web3 gaming years ago, and like the problems that people heard was the idea of like ownership and bringing that back to players. And I think, people have been talking about it again by looking at like the decisions that Activision's making with like the new Call of Duty, and you can't bring your assets over, and it's like you have to buy them all over again. And that's like kind of annoying for people. And I think we want to bring like at least
Facts.
ownership like back. And so our kind of approach is that people can just play the game, and it's going to feel like a very sort of traditional game that we all kind of used to now. And then as you earn like new familiars or skins or taunts or animations or decorations that we have for this new hub that we'll have at some point, and a bunch of other different things in the game, we want to let you just have the choice whenever you want that you can mint those items and bring it to Web3. And if you don't want to, then that's also your choice that you don't need to. But we want to let players to have that choice, that if you had something that's important to you, or you want to trade it or sell it or do anything you want with it, it's back into your hands to do that. And I think the way that we looked at it is when we more actually deconstructed like what gamers have done in like Counter-Strike and Dota 2, that, people earn reward boxes or skins or whatever they want in those games over time. And then once they're engaged and they're sticky and they really enjoy the product they're in, and their friends play it or they've made friends, then they're like, oh, hey, like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this skin? What do I do with that thing? And then people kind of found third-party marketplaces. And so for us, that's kind of why we also, really looked at why Web3 is really important to us right now, even though this game doesn't have Web3 in it, and why Sky Mavis is also really important to us, and like the really awesome Axie community, because as we start like opening this up and we start bringing like traditional gamers into it, they're going to get skins that come out through any season events or tournaments or leaderboards or anything like that. And they kind of have community that could help onboard them into like, what do I do with it? How do I trade it? And anybody here or listening that's also played like Diablo 2 or PD2, you understand like Forum Gold and like all these kind of people. Like community is one that really makes trade and things happen. And it's not something we want to force like in the client to like complicated UI and other stuff. So it's always going to be this opt-in experience. But I think, as like if you play a game and you're engaged and you're having fun, then these things become choices that make sense to you later. But I think the important thing for us too is not shoving it at the beginning of the game as like a barrier. So there isn't going to be any experience where you just start the game and it says, hey, connect a wallet, do XYZ. Like that's not going to happen. It's going to more happen that as you play the game and you get a certain kind of progression into the game, and like we know you've got a certain point into it, there's probably a good chance you enjoy the game or you're sticking around. And once that happened, it's like, hey, you unlocked the marketplace. So now it's like a feature you unlocked, instead of like me trying to convince you in the beginning of the game of why you should do something where you probably just don't care yet. And then once that happens, you might find out, oh, cool. So I got that really cool Nightcore skin. Oh, that's actually hard to get. Cool. Maybe I can trade that. Or if they don't want to, maybe they find out that later. But it's kind of like a long game for us that we think that will happen over time. But I think what we'll find out is like the users into this will be much more sticky. And that way, when you start seeing things kind of come onto Ronin, through TMA, everything that you see there was like a player choice for something that they either felt was important to them or they kind of wanted to trade it. And so we're not really dictating any of that kind of stuff on our end.
Yeah, no, that's I think it's I wouldn't say omniscient is the wrong word, but like you guys have really come in at the right angle for me. One of those huge like problems with these Web3 game companies was, and a lot of the time, if you like go to the transparency of things, like they focused on the blockchain sides and the marketplace and like funneling contributions of capital at first before the gameplay was important, because they needed mechanisms in order to raise funds, right, and those types of things, facilitate certain things. And like what Directive Games has kind of demonstrated with the launch of TMA and also how quality a product it already is that like it's a very, very solid foundation. And that's something that before I even touched the game gave me like, that confidence. And then touching the game is like, hey, for me, you'll figure it out eventually. Like to
Yeah,
any
absolutely.
player that hasn't played the game right now, like you'll figure it out for yourself.
Totally agree. And that's exactly why, like, when we released the version, there was no rewards in it yet. You can't even connect a wallet or do any of that stuff yet. Because if you don't like the game, none of those things matter, right? So we wanted people just to play it now and see if they enjoy it. And, you know, as long as we knew that was there, we know whatever we do on top of it will make sense. And, you know, it's going to be something that we'll put out a version of everything out first and see what the community kind of thinks of it. But we definitely have a pretty high quality bar internal first before we even sort of say, okay, we think it's ready for the community. So everything we do kind of has quite a few layers, but we really respect like the content creators and everybody who's playing. We've been just like amazed by just the like organic amount of people who wanted to play and like start running tournaments and doing things. Because a big thing for me too, when it comes to even like esports, I know we've talked about that quite a bit, is I don't believe esports is a thing that you can make happen. Like, you know, I see a lot of kind of teams or kind of projects and they really want to shove esports in like super fast. Hey, we signed these 9 teams. But I think fans who kind of watch esports a lot, you don't actually care about the team. You care about players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you saw that happen with Counter-Strike when, like, you know, when Shroud and all them left Cloud9, nobody cared anymore. You saw it with like Dota 2 when like Dendi left Navi. Nobody cared about, you know, Navi anymore. People care about the people and not necessarily the team itself. And so I feel like esports is a thing where you need to just build the tools to let people see who's good and how do you find them. And that our first step will be like putting in the leaderboards and other things like that, so people can actually go like, why is that guy so good? And then you can start kind of exploring like, why are they good? And that's kind of why we already put in spectator tools like very early into the build, is so when content creators and other people want to be doing things, that these tools are out them and let organic growth kind of happen. And then once you start letting like people be able to showcase how good they are and you can find them, and then people can see the difference between me to them to like where they got there, that's like the beginning foundations where you can start kind of having esports happen. And then you can start kind of forming all these other things. But it's definitely not something that we're trying to make happen with a hammer. It's definitely kind of like a soft approach that we just want to make sure the tools are there first and then let it kind of grow naturally on our end.
Awesome.
I do have a question about the spectators mode and all that. Do you think later on down the line, you might have like a match recording or like highlights of the game, like certain aspects of the game,
yeah,
turning points of the game, you know?
Potentially, I would say yes. I think those are kind of features that people kind of expect nowadays. It's not on our roadmap yet, and I think that's just because we just want to get all the rest of the gameplay stuff out now first, and then those are kind of like great quality of life features. But it's definitely something I would want in. It's, you know, it's very standard in almost all kind of competitive games, some way to kind of showcase a replay and how that is. So it's definitely something we will have to look at, but we haven't started any work on it yet.
Cool.
That's
Awesome.
dope. Now I'm sure we'll get you know, more developments on that, more suggestions as it goes.
Yeah,
And I think that's the
have
beauty
some
of being tied
we
in
have
with the
some
community.
cool stuff too that like we haven't shared yet at all. It's very like early prototype-ish internally right now, but we've been prototyping kind of like an AR spectator mode, and we kind of have a version of it working, even though it's still rough and it needs quite a bit more work before it's ready to kind of put into some community hands. But we showcased it live in a few places, even on a very rough thing, and people really got into it. But you can kind of imagine the idea that instead of like jumping on YouTube or Twitch, if I saw my favorite content creator or team was playing and I had an AR capable mobile device like an iPad or a phone or anything like that, I could just like click and I could view the entire level like just displayed in AR anywhere I at. And then you almost become like the live camera with your phone or your device, and you're zooming in and you're basically part of the match. You're seeing everybody move and do their thing. And it kind of brought like a whole new layer to like spectating. And we kind of have a version of it working. And I think it won't be out when the game comes out because we want to figure out how do we release it. But there's definitely things like that we want to get out to the public also.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't think we have something like that currently in any game, right?
No.
Like,
I think
No.
even the spectate mode that we have, like, obviously it's not an AR experience for sure, but like even the ability that the camera is like the same controls as a player, like you use on the keyboard WASD to like move around, so you actually have like direct control over what you're viewing. So like the expansion on that is even greater. And like in the larger picture of like just esports in general, I think there was a video I saw on Twitter a lot last week about how certain companies are coming together to create these AR virtual experiences where you're watching these games. And so like I think naturally the gaming scene gravitates towards that. So the fact that you guys have that on your radar and already a rough draft is just impressive anyway. Yeah,
it's definitely something I'm very interested in. It just adds like another fun layer to viewing, and it's cool. It's super cool. So definitely want to be at least showcasing that a little bit to see how people like react to it and what they think of it. But it's definitely something that's on our roadmap.
Awesome. Curious to know, do you guys know like the segregation or the amount of people that have come from Skymave Ronin and the amount of people who've not naturally found you on Epic Games?
I think we do have some of that data. I don't have it right on top of my head what it is, but we've been talking internally too about like how do we figure it out a little bit more. Epic Game Store isn't really the best for that, and we've given out so many like requests for keys that we don't know exactly where they all went, and there's been still thousands that have signed up on the website that we haven't had a chance to get them keys yet. So there's been a pretty heavy demand, and we're not exactly 100% sure where they're all coming from. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure maybe my marketing guy, if he's listening, he's sending me an angry message right now. But it's definitely stuff that we do care about and that we're trying to kind of get a better picture of it. And I think when we first announced, it really caught us a little bit unprepared too, because we weren't expecting such a huge flow of people who wanted keys and to play the game. And we never had servers up everywhere yet. So we've been, doing work on our side, trying to make sure we have more servers and more regions. And then, people are still getting a little bit of a high ping here and there. And that's just because the way the matchmaking works, that it will try to find players local to you first. And then if it doesn't find it, it tries to relax those rules and it starts searching a little bit further out just to make sure you get a game. But as we kind of get out of closed beta and we get ourselves out more to the public, that these things are just kind of feel better and better for players.
Right. Awesome.
Love it. Kent, you always come and speak so well, man. And I'm just, you guys have a great product. I'm just excited to see it develop for real.
Yeah, like we're excited. Like I'm flying to Iceland tomorrow to come hang out with the team for a couple of weeks. We're in some like pretty heavy milestone planning and scheduling where we're going to be kind of looking at just hardening all the ideas and things that we really want to be delivering for the next 6 months and 12 months. And then the outcome that we're going to get out of that will definitely be things that we want to be sharing with the community. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff coming up. There's going to be another game mode for P vs. B. We have like another character coming in. And man, Death Run is going to be so much fun when we get the big updates in. So the version of Death Run right now it's like a prototype. It's like a really bare bone prototype. It doesn't have any of the cool stuff in it. It's like the first version of it that we put in just to see, hey, is this fun? Do we see something in here? But like we're building completely new enemies, the completely new assets, completely new AI behaviors. They all get to have different abilities. There's a new boss encounter. There's environmental dangers. You have to be really careful about like where you're moving and how you're moving through the map. Death Run's going through a huge upgrade this year. So, we have all this stuff in that we want to be kind of talking about or showing soon.
So Death Run is hard. I don't know how people do that, going to level 16, 19. I'm out here struggling at level 6. I'm like, how are they doing it?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you guys are better than me. I can't even get past level 3, but I can play all the other stuff.
That goes to it, right? That's kind of what we want, these other verticals that we think like the universe we built and the characters we have, you know, they apply to so many different type of players who like these kind of controls and these kind of games. But yeah, some people I talk to only play Death Run. They've never even tried the P vs P because they're just so into these kind of things. And well, some are
That
very
was me.
hardcore. Yeah.
That was me. That's how I started off. I just played Death Run back to back.
Yeah. I know before we went like live with the announcements, and you know we had the early access and stuff. It was like I played Death Run for like 6 hours straight, constantly.
Yeah.
Like I would die, and it was just like go load right back in.
Yeah.
Same strategy, but like I would change certain
Yeah.
things. I was so adamant because I was doing it with Elazol at the time, and he's the guy who's sitting. I don't know if he's top of the leaderboard, but he's up there. But like he was telling me, bro, you need to use the SMG. I was like, no, I'm gonna do it with the light rifle. It's happening, and I was like
I'm
constant.
gonna make
I
it
didn't
happen.
stop. Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is, like later on when the new updates, and I'm sure you saw that you're getting cores, and you're like, these don't have any purpose. Later on, you will spend cores for like permanent upgrades, and those permanent upgrades will last throughout a season. So you might have done really good, and you got cores, but you know everyone else is actually progressively, permanently getting better, so they can actually go further and further. So you're going to always be sort of competing with other players, and then those kind of cores and upgrades kind of reset at the end of the season, kind of thing. But it definitely makes like a season of competing kind of competitive the whole way through.
That gets me to a question. What's your most played game mode?
It's got to be push the
Personal-
bar.
Or the game wise, okay.
Yep.
Game mode.
Yeah, I think right now we're definitely seeing a lot more people on push the cart, but I think as we get like the actual Death Run in the way it should be, and we sort of let people really see that this is actually what the game mode is, I think we're going to really appeal to a lot of people. And again, like we're coming out with other P vs E game modes also. They're not all going to be like Death Run, like a mini kind of roguelite, completely different new ideas. So that's going to be like a really fun kind of whiteboard for us, where we're going to come up with lots of really interesting different game modes, some smaller scale and some kind of larger. Some might be co-op. We have a whole bunch of stuff that we have planned on the P vs E side too.
I got one question here about you know, you spoke a lot about the lore side, and in our conversations in the past, like you come from a background where like the development of lore and the you know the work that goes in behind the lore itself is like very deep and very intricate. Do you think TMA as a game will ever kind of start utilizing the lore in different ways? Maybe like some games that we've seen in the past having like story modes and those types of things.
Maybe. I think there's definitely going to be story. So if people really want to kind of Google like the Machines, we have another game called the Machines AR. It's almost like it takes place in the future, and we actually have a bunch of comic books called The Machines on Dark Horse Comics, which kind of takes place like in the future, like after this. So this is kind of like a prequel, and that world is very post-apocalyptic. Everything's destroyed. It's very grim. So this is kind of like before this big war actually kind of occurs. And so we are going to be coming out with like lore and you know how this happens. And I think that's going to start happening a lot with like some of the skins and season events. They're not going to be just things that we just shove out and say, hey, here's a skin. A lot of everything we're going to kind of be doing, we want to sort of build it around like things that are happening in the world. And I think if you kind of look through the gallery, you can kind of see, hey, there's some skins that are not locked. You can see some stuff called Night Ops. And this is kind of going to be some lore that we're kind of saying, like, this is something that happened within the universe, and these actually have like a meaning and a purpose. Yeah. So we will be kind of pushing things out that way.
Yeah,
and
I can't wait for that one to drop.
I was going to say we got like
that's my favorite one right there. I can't wait for that
huge
one to
like comic enthusiast as well, like in this space as well, just naturally like anime fans and those types of things as well. So like the stories and the lore behind things is like it is part, like it's a huge part of the community at large.
You got to remember too, like the Pyro and Day, like Pyro, she was a human before. Day, he was a human. They didn't like start off as robots. So these characters have different stories of themselves of how they got to where they're at right now. So you know, through skins and through story, we want to also explore like their different looks and their styles, because it's also a big part about who they were as a character.
Yeah, for real. That's dope. I'm excited.
Yep.
Anyone got any more questions, lads?
I think
Oh,
I
I do.
I can ask one last one, right? Like, so, Kent, how would you sum up TMA, and like, what do we look ahead from you guys?
I think right now, just play, and I think like connect with the team. Everyone here, like on the dev side, are always on Discord and listening, and we seriously really care about what everyone's saying. And this game was a passion project like of the team, and they really care about people's feedback and making sure that we're making a good game. And I would say definitely connect with us. This is something that we take really kind of personally. Really want to make sure we have a fun product that people want to play. So definitely connect with us there. And it's still a closed beta, and the best is still to come. And we have a lot of really awesome stuff that we have planned. And I think this is really going to be a great game that people want to get into. And I think that the mission that we have in terms of what we want to do in Web3, I think really tie into the core of what people wanted out of Web3. And I think that's what we're trying to achieve also. And yeah, just want people to come on this journey with us.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Kent. Thank you, Ghostin, Adeeb, Gila, Jaatster, all of you guys for coming here and being here. Thank you, all the people who were watching. Ayuki, shout out to you, Killernoobz, Hantao, Sasi, and a bunch of other guys I might have missed. Thank you, guys. If you enjoyed what was happening, subscribe to the channel. Go follow TMA on all their socials. Follow Ghostin, follow Adeeb, Gila, Jaatster, follow me as well. And the links Ken mentioned about AR and the lore, the comics, I will add it on the stream. And yeah, thank you for being here, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Time.
It was a great game.
Thanks for coming, Ken.
It was a fun game until Ken started nightcoring me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. No, shout out. Cheers, Ken. I appreciate you for being here, man, and sharing
guys.
so closely.